Good Wednesday afternoon. This is Daniel Crawley with the Foothills Weather Network with your lunchtime update across the Foothills and Western Piedmont. And today we are watching for the potential of some severe weather across the region. We've been talking about this for the last couple of days. We've been seeing it in our forecast, the chance of severe weather. And some things have kind of evolved this morning that have kind of set the scenario for later today. And I'm going to take a few minutes to talk to you about what's going on, what's happened this morning, and what we think may happen as we head into this afternoon and into tonight. The first thing we'd like to say for folks who are following us, please, and I'm just going to go ahead and stress this out from the get-go, whether we have severe weather or not, you need to have a plan in place in case severe weather were to impact the area later today. If you are outdoors, if you are at work, if you're at school, or even if you're at home, you need to know what to do in case severe weather were to impact your area, whether it be straight line winds, whether it be hail, or even the possibility of a tornado. Just know what to do, have a plan in place, and to take action if severe weather impacts your area later today. Again, some things have kind of evolved this morning, and I'm going to look over the maps here right quick. As you can see, temperatures across the foothills are in the upper 50s. As you can see at Morganton Lenore Airport, 57 degrees. Down at Rutherfordton, 56 degrees. As you move off the Blue Ridge and head into the Piedmont, you'll see temperatures in Hickory and Lincolnton are in the low 60s. I'm going to widen out the view, and you can kind of see across the southeast. Here's a visible satellite image. We have the huge upper low that's currently over the Ozarks of Arkansas, moving off to the east, and you have all this moisture out ahead of the big upper low. That is going to help produce the severe weather later today across the southeast. From here in the Carolinas all the way down into Georgia, back to the west and Alabama and Tennessee. So anywhere across the southeast is being impacted by severe weather today. And some areas, especially south of us, are actually going to run a pretty high risk of potential tornadoes. Again, I'll go into the details in just a minute on what to expect for our area. But you see the temperatures across the southeast. Here along the southern Appalachians and the western Carolinas, some 50s and low 60s, but you don't have to head too far to the south. You go into the parts of the Midlands of South Carolina, central Georgia, you run into upper 60s and 70s for temperatures at around the noon hour on this Wednesday. I'm going to show you the dew point temperatures also for the area, and I think this has a little bit to do with what's going on this morning. As you can see, dew point temperatures across the western Carolinas are still pretty low. They're in the low 50s, even some 40s back in the mountains. But you don't have to go too far to the south. In the South Carolina, dew points are quickly getting up into the 60s. And once you head into the Midlands of South Carolina down into Georgia, those dew points are in the mid to upper 60s. That is what's going to fuel the severe weather for later today. So really, if you look at this dew point map, you can see a pretty good boundary that runs across upstate South Carolina over to northeast Georgia. That boundary is quickly moving north, so I expect as we head through the afternoon, those dew points will increase, starting in our southern tier counties like Rutherford and Cleveland and Lincoln, and it's gradually going to move north throughout the day. Let me pull up the radar image. I'll get rid of the temperatures. And you can see what's going on across the area. We have a batch of rain that's currently coming up out of northeast Georgia into the upstate of South Carolina and into western North Carolina. Thankfully, at this time, it's non-severe with the cooler air and the lower dew points that we have in place. This is just some good soaking rains with the occasional rumble of thunder or a flash of lightning. I think that's going to kind of be the trend through the early afternoon hours as this first batch moves through. I'm going to pull up our local Doppler radar and show you what's going on. Take a second here, it'll pull up. And there we go. You can see the rain shower activity that's coming up from northeast Georgia up through the upstate of South Carolina and into the southern and western portions of our viewing area here in the foothills. I'll put this into motion. You can see everything's moving off to northeast at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. This, again, is a steady rain with some occasional rumbles of thunder. There's no severe weather currently involved with this, which is good news. And I think it'll stay that way at least for the next couple hours. Zooming in to kind of show you what's going on. Some good rains occurring in Rutherford County, southern McDowell County, moving up into South Mountain region of southern Burke County, northern Cleveland County, and that's all gradually moving off to northeast. So if you're not seeing rain yet in Taylorsville, which It's knocking on your doorstep. You're going to be getting it here in the next few minutes. Eastern parts of Catawba County, eastern parts of Lincoln County, you're going to start getting wet here in a few minutes. We do have some lightning strikes down along the North Carolina-South Carolina border. So for that reason, we have issued a lightning alert. Technically for all of our counties in the viewing area, but the heaviest concentration of lightning looks to currently be right along the state line. So if you're in lower Cleveland County, you're probably seeing some lightning as we speak. Let's go back to the regional view, and I'm going to show you what's going on. Widen this out a little bit, and I'll take the radar off. There are current tornado watches out, but not for our area. The tornado watches are out for Georgia. As you can see here, it's a pretty big watch. Panhandle of Florida, if you're in Pensacola, if you're in Mobile, Alabama, and it's running up through the southern, eastern part of Alabama and into Georgia. It also includes the Atlanta metro area. I think as that warm front moves north, the severe weather threat will increase closer to our area later today. And don't be at all surprised if we see some kind of tornado watch or severe thunderstorm watch issued for part of our area later today. So kind of be on the lookout for that. And of course, if we get that information, we'll send it along to you via our social media pages. And if you have our phone app, please set your phone to where you can get our push notifications. We'll get that information out to you as quick as possible. The big thing for us today we're going to watch is going to be in regards to what happens later this afternoon. I'm going to pull up the latest model run from the high resolution rapid refresh. This is a great short range model that we use, and it's usually pretty accurate during severe weather events. We did have a little bit of an issue this morning. It was losing some data from radar sites down to our south, and it was affecting the model output. And again, when stuff like that happens, it's always while we tell you not to always trust on model data, you kind of have to see what's going on. But I think the HRR has picked up and has taken care of that model error. Looking at the latest run, it's got a good indication of what's going on. This was valid at 11 a.m. Of course, it's now closer to 12 p.m. So I think it had a pretty good, on this model run, is a pretty good indication on what's going on. As we keep going through, this is 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you'll see the current shower activity starts moving north through the foothills and actually out of the coverage area. Now, as we head toward 20Z, which is 4 o'clock this afternoon, you'll see some redevelopment that's occurring back over upstate South Carolina, back over the foothills. We'll have to keep an eye on that, because if this first batch of rain moves through and the sun were to start coming out this afternoon, things could start to destabilize a little bit. Now, this model run in particular kind of keeps that activity south of the area, even though there's a little bit of activity along the Blue Ridge. Most of it stays in the South Carolina. By, 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be on the lookout, especially for our southern tier counties, as those storms may try to graze into Cleveland or maybe even Lincoln County or Rutherford County. The big thing that we need to watch for tonight is this line of developing thunderstorms right here that'll be developing across northeast Alabama, North Georgia, East Tennessee. This is at 8 o'clock tonight according to the model. And you'll see that this line quickly organizes as it moves east, crosses the Smokies. It really gets going across northeast Georgia and upstate South Carolina. And here we are at midnight. We have a line of potentially severe thunderstorms that'll be moving through the western Carolinas. It will then begin to move into our viewing area here in McDowell, Burke, Caldwell, Rutherford counties about 1 o'clock Thursday morning. So this is the thing that you need to realize. This severe weather event is not going to be anything in the immediate term, but it could be something that happens tonight after dark. And always severe weather, it's tough to prepare yourself at dark because you can't visibly see what's going on. It's tough for forecasters to get confirmation of severe weather during the nighttime. So for you, as the viewer who are watching us today, have your plan in place tonight in case severe weather hits your area. Have a phone, your cell phone fully charged and have it ready to go. Make sure you have downloaded apps, including our Foothills Weather Network app. It's always good to have a weather radio because even though weather radio may sound off for a broad area, multiple counties, it's a good method to give you information. And of course, always check us out on our Facebook pages. We may be running some live streams later tonight on Facebook or on our YouTube stream. So we will keep you up to date on this. Just have a plan in place. Know what to do if severe weather hits your area. Keeping going through the model, this is at 2 a.m. Those storms are starting to move just to the east of Blue Ridge. And then at 3 a.m., it's starting to move into the Piedmont. So this is not only going to be a daytime issue, it's going to be tonight and even into the early morning hours of Thursday morning. So that's what the message we want to send to you here at the noon hour. In the near immediate term, severe weather threat is not real high, but as we head into later today, if the sun were to come out and things to stabilize, then severe weather could develop pretty quickly tonight, this evening, and even into the early morning hours of Thursday. So that is our lunchtime wrap up. Again, stay with us here at the Foothills Weather Network throughout the day. We'll have frequent updates on this. We'll let you know the latest trends and what we think that's going to be going on. And again, and we can't stress enough, have a plan in place, because severe weather at night can be really deadly. And, folks, you may be in the bed during the middle of the night and severe weather strikes. Have that information available to you, whether it be through your cell phone, whether it be a weather radio, or even if you have a friend who can call you and give you information, say if a warning were issued for your area. It's good to have that source of information. So we'll make it through this storm here in the next 12 to 24 hours. And then after this moves through late tonight, much colder air coming in for Thursday and for Friday. And hard to believe, folks, up in the high country, there's a chance for some snow. And it may be a pretty decent snow event here for the first week or so of April. Also, we'll have to be on the lookout for some gusty winds on the backside of the storm on Thursday. But before we worry about that, we'll get through tonight. And hopefully we'll get through this okay. But again, there is a risk for severe weather, damaging winds, hail, and we can't rule out the possibility of a tornado. Okay, this is Daniel Crawley from Foothills Weather Network. Hope you have a good day, and we will keep you updated on this severe weather event throughout the day.